Hey everyone, welcome back to Practical AutoCAD and Inventor. If you're preparing to take the Autodesk Inventor Certified User Exam, then you're in the right place. In this video, we're diving into one of the most fundamental skills you'll need, creating sketch geometry in Autodesk Inventor. Before you can bring your designs to life in 3D, you'll need a solid foundation in 2D sketches. This video covers the basics of creating sketch geometry. Future videos will show how to project geometry, add constraints, and place dimensions. Whether you're just getting started or looking for a refresher before taking the exam, this guide will help you master the skills you need to pass the exam. So grab your mouse, fire up Autodesk Inventor, and let's dive in. Let's begin our look at sketching by creating a new part file. I'll go to the File tab, and then I'll choose New, and I'll choose Create for the standard part. Once you're in the standard part, you'll need to choose your sketch plane. Using the marking menu, you can right-click and choose New Sketch. Then you can choose whichever origin plane you want to start on, the front plane, the side plane, or the top plane. It doesn't matter. For the sake of this drawing, I'm going to use the front plane. Next, what you'll want to do is create your geometry approximately the right size and shape. And to do that, we have lots of geometry tools, such as line, circle, arc, rectangle. The best bet is to keep your sketches simple and to sketch your geometry approximately the right size and shape. By keeping it simple, I mean don't include things like fillets and chamfers and that kind of stuff, because those can be placed as placed features later on in the design. Now, if we look at the tools a little bit deeper, you'll see that not only is there a line command, but there are spline commands as well. I don't recommend using splines for most of your geometry because they're much more difficult to completely constrain. However, if you're doing organic work and that kind of stuff, sometimes you'll need to use them. If we look at the flyout with the circle command, you'll see that there's a few different ways to draw circles. Circle by specifying the center point, circle with tangencies, or ellipses. If you look at the arc command, you can choose a 3-point arc, an arc tangent to a line, or an arc using the center point. Now with the rectangle, there's quite a few choices. Not only can I draw a rectangle with 2 points or 3 points, I can choose the center of the rectangle and then the outside edges and so on, but I can also make a number of slots that you might need to choose, or even polygons. Polygons can vary from 3 sides to as many sides as you need them to have. Then of course we still have fillets and chamfers, but like I said, it's best to omit fillets and chamfers from most of your sketches because they can be placed later as placed features. You can also place text and points. Now if I go to the little flyout down here, you'll see if I drop this out, I can create sketch blocks as well, and that's in another video that I've got in my other series of Inventor tools. So creating lines. If we look at creating lines, you can simply pick with your mouse and you can create lines. As you begin to sketch, you will see that these little badges show up near your mouse and they will include things like horizontal or vertical or coincident. And there's another video later in this series that talks a little bit more about those constraints and how they're used. Now, as you're sketching with lines, you can make as many line segments as you need, and when you're done, you just press Enter or Escape to get out of the command, and then you can press Escape one more to get back and complete the line command. I'm going to undo that because in addition to creating lines, you can create tangent arcs or even arcs at any angle while you're still in the line command. So if I click for my first point and then click for my second point, for example, notice it wants to give me another line. However, if I go to that endpoint and click and hold my mouse and then drag it off, you'll see that it allows me to make a tangent arc. And I could come through and I could make an arc that is, a perfect 90 degrees or 180 degrees. And if you look down at the bottom, you'll notice also that it's giving me a tangent constraint there as well. When I let up, it goes back to the line command, but if I want to make more arcs, I can just do the same thing. I simply go to the endpoint, click and hold, and then drag in whichever direction I want that line to go. Okay. Now, one of the things that it does is it gives me this alignment icon, and it makes it want to go, perpendicular. So just kind of be aware of the fact that if I want to continue on, I've got to change. Now, if I continue on with this, if I didn't want that line to be, or the arc to be perpendicular, tangent to the line, I could change the angle. So if I go to the end and click and drag, you'll notice that I get 3 center lines, meaning it could be tangent, to that line. Or if I go and I drag straight up, notice that I can make it go that way. Or if I go to the end and drag straight down, notice that I can make it go that way. So there's lots of ways to create those arcs while you're using the line command. If I want to use circles, there are several ways of doing circles. The first, of course, is just the center where you pick the circle and then you make your diameter. It's always going to default to the diameter option, but if you right-click your mouse, you can choose whether or not you want to do the circle or if I want it to be the radius by choosing radius right here. So by default, it's giving me the diameter on that number there, but if I right-click my mouse, come down here and choose radius, then it's going to allow me to input the radius. And of course, I can type in the number, or you can just draw it approximately the right size and shape, because again, the whole idea behind Inventor is that it is parametric, and the dimensions that we'll put in later will drive that dimension. So right now this has a size of 0.373, but if I change it to say 0.450, you'll notice that it makes that circle indeed a little bit bigger. I'm going to undo that. The next one we want to look at is arcs. Okay, there's a couple different ways of doing arcs. Generally, you're going to do a 3-point arc, and you'll pick the start point, the end point, and then your radius. So it doesn't do 3 points in linear like AutoCAD does, but it does 3 points, start point, end point, and radius. And then once you get those in there, again, it is fully parametric. You can always come in and grab those end points or the arc itself and adjust it to be whatever you need it to be. The other ways here are arc tangent, but because I don't have a line in here, if I pick that circle, it's going to make another arc tangent to it. And notice that it puts that tangent constraint. If I had picked a line, it would have made it tangent to that. And then, of course, you can do arc center point, where I can say, I want another arc. Here's my center point, and then my start point and my end point. Okay, so again, I could do that again, center point, and then I could say start point and then end point. So it allows me to draw that in a couple different manners, just depending on what you need. So then if I come back finally, let me get rid of this geometry here. The last thing I'm going to come in here is looking at all of these different rectangle tools. There are 2-point rectangles where you're making like a window by picking opposite corners. There's 3-point rectangles where you pick any 3 points and you can make a rectangle out of it. You can do a rectangle where you pick the center point and pick your corners. Notice that this also creates some construction geometry. Construction geometry will be the subject of a later video. There's, again, 3-point where I pick the center and then I pick, my 2 different points. So just all these different ways of making rectangles so that you can, get the geometry that you need. There are also slots where you pick your centers and then you pick, the radius of the slot or a overall slot, okay, where again you're picking things. Notice that this one I made it a little bit angled. That's one of the things that you can do with these other kinds of slots. I can do a 3-point arc where I will pick the start point of an arc and then the center or the end point and then the center, and then it allows me to offset it and create it whatever size I need it to be. And then same type of thing here with center, and then finally polygons, where I can specify the number of sides that I want it to be, and then if I want it to be inscribed or circumscribed, and then I can just pick my geometry and put it in there. So lots of different ways of creating geometry. You can use them all together or separate. And then of course, once you get your geometry in place, you can use all of those modify tools. Again, the subject of another video on how to use some of these modified tools. But hopefully this is just a quick introduction to how to use some of that create geometry, some of the create geometry tools in Autodesk Inventor.